there's a very interesting
Area.
area, I would say. Anyway, today we are going to talk about the selfie culture and also the social media culture. And as we know, selfie has taken a global phenomena, and this has the social media to be finger pointed at, also to be blamed. And this has also created a vast influence towards today's society, in the sense that younger generation and even the older ones, even prime ministers are taking selfies, and we have our own prime minister to blame as well on that. First of all, as a psychologist, what do you see? The emerging of the selfie phenomena, as well as the increased usage of social media to connect with each other.
I think selfies is not something new. It's just the media which we use to portray it is different. I mean, you think about it, in the olden days, right? We have people like, all the painters and artists. I mean, they like to draw themselves anyway, right? People especially like Rembrandt, who actually painted a lot of self-portraits.
Really?
Yeah. And of course,
his self-portrait, or
self-portraits.
He loved himself too much.
And then and I think all of you probably know Van Gogh. He did a lot of paintings on himself. Almost 37. I think 37, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, that's little compared to the thousands of selfies that people actually take. But then, if you think about it, it takes a longer time to draw yourself.
That's true.
Than just to snap a picture of yourself. So if you calculate the time that he spends drawing himself, it's actually quite a lot.
But then when talking about taking photos of ourselves, some people take a lot of photos and they still are not happy with their own look. They say, this angle is not suitable to me. I want to take another angle.
Because it's so simple, you see. Because in the olden days, when we have all these films, right? I mean, it costs a lot of money just to take one picture. Yeah, now
and you don't know the end result.
Right?
It could be like really ugly side of your face.
Yeah, so now it's like, okay, I just have a look at it. I don't like it. I did delete it and start all over again. Yeah, so it makes it easy. So I wouldn't say that this is something very, very new, but it's just that there's a new media to actually do it, to make it easier. Ever since they invented handphones that has the cameras both on the back and the front, then it makes it even easier to do it. Yeah. Actually, even if you think about it, right, the term selfie itself, actually people are still not sure how to define it. Because if you look around, people have very different definition. Like, for example, if you take a picture of yourself in a mirror, is that considered a selfie? Some people say no. Some people say yes. And must selfie be with can selfie be with a group, or is it only one person? Right? Yeah. So I mean, it's a new term that we have come up with. And I think the definition is still very, very vague in a sense. But I think for the sake of discussion, maybe we could just... this is what the definition probably is. Some people say that selfie has to be taken at arm's length. So it's...
arm's length.
Yeah, so you must at least show a little bit of your arm in there for it to be called a selfie.
I see.
So
and it must be taken by yourself.
Yes, by yourself and not somebody else. And you can't use those automatic, sort of snapshots and stuff like that.
I see. So, what about you taking a selfie with another person? Is it still called selfie, or?
I mean, I would consider it a selfie, but some people, they come up with new terms like a C. I don't know, all sorts of funny.
Yeah. But I mean, let's just focus or lump everything into selfie.
Okay, let's make it easier.
Yeah. So I guess the selfie phenomena has taken off recently. Probably it's also because the social media itself has expanded.
Yeah.
Very large. I mean, we started off with very ancient social media during the early 2000s with Hi-Fi, with Friendster, with MySpace. But now we have much more interesting social media like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Yeah, and functioning for different platform and different audiences as well. So the selfie phenomena has also, I think, has taken off due to that fact,
Yes. Actually, the term itself started much earlier in 2005. I think it was officially written in one of the photography guides by Richard Cross. Yeah, but this selfie phenomenon only started, I think, about last year. Where it became such a big thing. And once initially it was teenage girls who
Yeah, of
basically
Of course.
started
The teenagers
this. Yeah, so
started the
people
trend.
like, oh, come on, I'm not going to do this. Just one of those teenage girls fad who just want to show how they look, online and stuff like that.
But now it has taken beyond that,
And since, Barack Obama did it during Nelson Mandela's funeral, I think it was like, okay, if he did it, he's not a teenage girl, he's someone big, so it's sort of like a go ahead for everyone.
And not to forget, in our own country,
Yes.
our Prime Minister is taking selfie with other Prime Ministers as well.
Probably he got because he followed Barack Obama, right? Yeah. But it became acceptable. Of course, I think the first time when Barack Obama did it, there were some criticisms. There are people who were saying that, no, this is not a behavior that is worthy of a president of America, the most powerful person on the planet. But after that, everyone seems to be doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it seems like it's fine now. It's perfectly acceptable. No longer a teenage girl's thing.
It has caught on to a lot of people, even during revolutions, during a procession. People will actually take selfie of themselves behind like a revolution itself. And this actually happened in Thailand. Interestingly, they call it the selfie revolution because people go there just to just to tell others, I was there. So they take selfie of themselves and they put it in the social media. And in this sense, the selfie phenomena will not be taken so seriously without the social media platform.
I think that it's really, really important because if you just take a selfie and keep it at home, with no one to see it, probably it will not be such a hit. But because nowadays we have a lot of the social media platforms, right, where you can actually post stuff that you actually take. So it's kind of like you are being like a little superstar yourself, where you have your own audience, Yeah, because I think in the olden days, if you are famous, in order to be famous, you really have to be famous. But nowadays, anyone could have a platform. You could be famous. You just come up with one viral video and everybody knows you.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
So I think because of all these social media networks that allow people to reach out to more people, it makes it more appealing to take pictures as yourself and post it up. Yeah, so it's my own little reality show, which I couldn't have otherwise.
Yeah, I think that's true, especially in social media like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Of course, all three of them function differently for different purposes, but they all serve a similar purpose for individuals, which is to create this virtual reality of themselves, the idealized virtual reality of themselves. And in this case, selfie just added more complexity to that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's not a bad thing, I would say, but sometimes it can be quite scary, when we started using so much pictures that we forgot how to use words anymore. Yeah. In the olden days, we tell people what we do, right? Before there was all this pictures and stuff, we'd write, we'd use words to describe. But now it's so much easier. I just snap a picture and here I am,
That's
it's
true.
worth 1,000 words already.
That's true. Everything just become more and more like
pictorial.
Yes. In the past, I still remember early 2000, the blogging culture would just kick off and everyone want to write and want to have their own blog.
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's like nobody is even writing any Facebook status.
Too lazy.
Yeah. They would rather write like really simplified version of, writing or words in Twitter and then post a photo of it.
Yeah, I think that's why Instagram is so popular nowadays.
In fact, it's the number one.
Yeah, exactly.
Social media platform compared to Facebook and Twitter.
So I wonder if the next level of evolution in the human race is we stop talking and just showing pictures.
We're already stopping talking to ourselves.
Yeah.
To other people as well by using all these chatting services like
words,
Skype and all that.
Words are getting shorter. I think once we probably don't need vowels anymore.
That's why Snapchat and WhatsApp is so popular among teenagers and also among society because you can connect to anyone anywhere in this world with probably a handphone number, and then you don't need to express more other than just a few words.
Yes. So I don't know. Maybe it's not even necessary to be literal anymore the next time.
Yeah, that could be the case. We will take a short break and we will talk more about the negative side or the damaging side of selfie and the social media.
hours of sharing. 旅人的香。
We are back again with our guest, Alex, a psychologist and also lecturer in Help University. So, earlier on, we talked about the history of selfie, how the social media has kick-started this the selfie phenomenon, and how all people has, just jump on the bandwagon. It started off just as a teenage thing, but now it's like everyone wants to have a selfie, and even there's a song about taking a selfie.
Yes.
Let's take a selfie.
And very catchy also.
It's very catchy. But at the same time, being a psychologist yourself, you can't help to see like there's a real psychology side to it, like a clinical psychology side to it.
Yeah, as in any human behavior, there's always a motivating factor why we do certain things. So, if you think about it, why do people take selfies and paste them up for everyone to see? So there must be something that makes them feel good about it. And like we were saying just now, social medias like Facebook allows people to comment. And I think this is one of the things that makes selfies so desirable. Because I think for any human beings, we want people to recognize us. I've been dealing with children for a while, and I know that for kids, being seen, even although, I'm being scolded by my mom, that's better than my mom ignoring me altogether. So I think this basic need is human beings that we want people to recognize us. We cannot stand being invisible to the world. Yeah, so having a social platform like this allows people to present themselves to the world, to their friends, and then allows a friend to also comment. So you think about it, right? A lot of times when we post anything up on Facebook, we will definitely get some comments, even though whatever that we post is so insignificant. I remember, just try this out for an experiment. Just cook a really terrible dish and just paste it up on Facebook. I bet someone will say, it looks delicious, although it is not at all.
Maybe something that has been burned really bad.
So it's the same. When we take selfies, right? Although, it might not be such a very nice selfie, but you will have some of your friends who will comment, oh, you look gorgeous, wow, you look wonderful, and all those stuff.
And you have at least one like,
Yes, at least one like. It's almost impossible that nobody okay, that's bad. No? Yeah, but so this makes us feel good, right? So when anything makes us feel good, we want to do it again. And sometimes I think that selfies is kind of like playing slot machines, almost like gambling. Because we don't know which selfie will get a lot of likes.
That's true.
Yeah, so the first time I take a selfie, all right, I get 2 likes. Then you think that, only 2 likes. Maybe I'll try another one, make it better this time, And then, I'll do it again. And it's like, I got 3 likes.
And it's a cycle as well, because it's funny because we want to get likes from other people, but at the same time, we also give likes to other people.
Exactly.
We keep on scrolling those Facebook feed just to click like to posts that we really like, or pictures that we think that are really good. And even in Twitter, we would retweet back, a post or photo of people. And of course, in Instagram, you would give a heart to any photo that you like.
Yes. So I think that's a great motivating factor for people. So they feel gratification. There's some form of gratification when people actually like their photos. Yeah, so, that is not a bad thing. But I think it becomes bad when your only sense of gratification in life, is the number of likes that people, take or whatever it is.
In other words, your virtual life has taken over your real life.
So that is it. And your mood depends on that. So if it's just that, today's nobody liked my picture, so I really, really feel down. And then if another day, I take a really, really good one and everyone likes it, I feel good. So, if you think about it, it's quite scary, but your life is no longer based on your real interaction with people, but your life, your mood depends on how you interact with your computer screen.
So are you saying as well that society has become more and more introvert, but more and more extrovert online, more and more introvert in real life?
Yeah, actually there have been research that actually suggests that, those people who actually post more anything online actually have less life outside. You think about it, it can be logical because obviously if you spend more time online, which means you have less time to spend in real life.
That's true.
Yeah. So there seems to be some early research that seems to suggest that this might be true. And if you think about it, it's kind of scary. We are all going into this little nutshell. It's almost like Matrix, yeah, of course, we are not really hooked up that way, but yes, in a way we are hooked up. Our life no longer depends on how we interact outside, but how we interact online.
In fact, earlier you mentioned there's this thing called the Dunbar number, where meaningful relationship can only be formed with 150 people. More than that is just, I don't know, extras or it's just unmeaningful ones.
Well, actually, this was started in around the 1990s. There was this anthropologist. His name is John Dunbar. What he did was basically he did a research on primates, like apes, monkeys, and all this stuff. And he was measuring their brain size and tried to correlate it with the number of social relationships that they have. And what he found was there is actually some significant correlation, meaning that the bigger the brain size is, the more number of social relationship you would have within that clan, because apes and monkeys and all that, they actually live in communities, right? So he tried to postulate using the same formula that for human being, based on our brain capacity, we cannot have more than 150 relationships at a time, meaningful relationships. That means.
But a lot of the Facebook friends of ours is probably like 1,000. I mean, the least would probably be 500 to 300. 150. I don't think people nowadays have 150 friends. I think it should be more than that.
Yeah. But of course, I mean, you can have those friends, but those are not all the friends that will come to you when you say, "Oh, I need help," right? Yeah. So I mean, he's talking about real relationships where you really know them quite well. I mean, think about it. How many people you actually talk to within maybe even for 2 years that you have had on your Facebook?
That's totally true. And I think the worst part is some of us could form like really good Facebook relationship or Twitter or whatever social media platform with people that we never meet before.
Exactly.
We can have like good comments and chatting with them, but we don't even know them in real life. And they could have totally different personality in real life. It seems like in those social media platform, everyone is equal, everyone is the same, and everyone is having this sort of vibrant personality or the idealized side of themselves, which is, I don't know, kind of creepy in a way.
Yeah, but I think one point that you make is very interesting because see what all this social platforms, even like selfies, if you talk about it, gives to people is a sense of control. Because you see, before I post up those pictures, I get to decide whether it should be up or not. I get to decide what to do about it. Nowadays, not only do you take pictures, you have all those, what do you call that? Those stuff where you filters.
Filters.
Yes. To make yourself look more radiant.
You can change the lighting. You
Correct.
can even do a bit of Photoshop of yourself.
Yes, so it controls the image that you want to portray yourself to people, which in the olden days we can't. So whatever your camera shows, that's it lah. And you don't know, like you said, you don't know how you will look like, right?
If it's bad lighting, meaning too bad.
Yeah. But with all this, you actually get to decide. You portray your best front. I'm sure nobody will want to paste or post up, pictures of themselves that's not gratifying, unless it's an intended thing lah. Yeah, so it gives people a sense of control on how they want people, how they want to portray themselves to people. But the thing is, the truth is, you can never really control how people look at you. A lot of times when I see some of those pictures, the first thing I think, like, how narcissistic, how egoistic, or like, how come they're so self-obsessed, about themselves?
Yeah, I mean, some people, they don't have like big eyes. They will capture themselves in the angle where their eyes are the biggest.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, they are just trying to show like a side of them that is not actually the real side of them. It's more like just an angle side of them.
Exactly. And I think in a sense it's also it also starts a sense of competition among people. Like, okay, she posted this about herself. Now if I don't do that, it shows how bad my social life is, and I don't want to lose out. So I also need to find some other thing, so it becomes like almost like a competition among people to see how exciting and how, their life is.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that also explains why people like to take selfie during all these different interesting events or with interesting celebrities.
Yes.
Like I have to admit that I went to the Barack Obama a town hall meeting.
Wow, cool.
And I thought it was just myself that took a selfie with Barack Obama behind, but when I opened my Facebook, a number of people who went to the town hall meeting also did the same thing.
Everyone being like rats,
So
I did it first.
So everyone, I mean, those who went there, it seems like there's this idea that since I'm there, I want to show to other people that, I'm there with him and you're not.
That's it. I'm sure the rest of your friends will have to go look for another celebrity to take pictures with.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really a healthy thing, a healthy approach, but it seems like a lot of people like to take selfie with to show that they are there or they are with these people.
I mean, it's not really a bad thing, but it's just that, like I said, at the end of the day, it's like a sense of, I want to show how fantastic my life is. And for those people whose life is not so fantastic, then either they, drop out, like I don't bother anymore, or they have to find something else to make people think that their life is exciting. So,
how bad is the addiction towards social media or selfie is towards a person? Like, would it be as bad as drinking or smoking or any other addictions?
Well, I don't think it's been officially there's no such thing called selfie addiction yet, but I won't be surprised if one day probably there is, I didn't bother to look up.
Maybe not
somebody,
selfie, maybe social media addiction.
Social media, Facebook addiction, yes. There have been a term that people use already. But at the end of the day, I think just like in any addictions at all, if you lose control of it, you will know when you're addicted if you are not able to tell yourself, okay, I'm not going to take any selfies for a day or for a week. And if it troubles you throughout the week, then something is definitely wrong. So, I mean, that's the nature of addiction, because at the end of the day, you allow that thing to control you, and you do not have any control over it anymore. Yeah, so if that happens, then it becomes, an addiction, I would say. So you can be addicted to anything. Actually,
that's definitely true. But is this a symptom of a larger societal issue, or is this just a symptom of this one person seeking extra attention that he's not receiving in his real life, or he or she?
Well, there are some research that seems to suggest that people who take lots of selfies and post them online have low self-esteem. Well, if you think about it, it's kind of logical, because what they need is basically affirmation. So if they can't have internal affirmation, if they cannot affirm themselves, thinking that, it's okay if people don't like me, but I like myself, then they would need to seek it from elsewhere. So when you post a picture of yourself and people say, that's so wonderful, gorgeous, you look beautiful, that's kind of seeking for external affirmation. And people with lower self-esteem need more of that than other people. So yes, it can be an indication of having low self-esteem, but having said that, it doesn't mean that everyone who takes selfies have low self-esteem.
Yeah.
It could be the opposite, too high self-esteem as well.
That's true. I mean, how do you explain presidents and prime ministers taking selfie having low self-esteem, right?
Yeah, I think it could be the extreme. Some people who think too highly of themselves also post up lots of selfies. So it's not so easy to say that, they do this because of this. Because again, human nature, we're just so different. People do the same thing for so many different reasons. Yeah.
But do you think this is like a long-term trend? Or would it be just another viral trend that will come and go, and then people will take up something new, and then they totally forgot that there's such thing as selfie?
Well, I think what will not change is the people's need to be recognized by people, people's need to connect, people's need to feel good about themselves. But the platform might change, So I don't know what's the next thing's going to come out after selfies. I don't posting 3D images of yourself. I don't know.
Now we have 3D printing already,
yes, exactly.
So we don't know what will happen.
I don't know. Yeah, create your own, 3D statue.
But there are other a lot of groups they see this as a threat or a concern towards our today's modern society. And there are people who actually do videos saying that why don't you just get out from the couch, get out from your virtual world, and just leave the real world and enjoy life with friends, with family, with people that are actually your meaningful relationship. The meaningful relationship that you have with other people.
Yeah, you see, that comes to the issue of control again. Because when I go out there, I'm not in control. I can't choose how I portray myself. If I look like this, I look like this. And you just don't know how people will react to you, and you don't have time to think how to react to them. See, with the social media network, you can take your time. Someone posts something, you can think about 10 minutes, 20 minutes about what's the most appropriate thing that I should say to reply that. But in real time, you just don't have time. Someone says something, you have to react immediately. And that's kind of scary for certain people because you're just not prepared,
That's true. We will have a break, another break now, and we will return again with more discussion on selfie and the social media.
Voice of sharing. Durian ASEAN.
Welcome back again with our guest, Alex, talking about selfie and the social media culture and phenomena in today's society. So, another key problems that we find out of this social media and social media and selfie phenomena is this thing called body
dysmorphic
disorder. is not easy to pronounce. So this body dysmorphic disorder.
Yeah.
What is that actually?
First of all, let me just say that just because you do take selfies, it doesn't mean that you have any mental illness.
So I
yes, so you
I can
safe.
I can feel safe for myself because I take selfie with Barack Obama.
But what they did find was that people with this particular disorder, known as body dysmorphic disorder, tends to take selfies more than other people. So it's almost like an obsession for them. But let me explain what body dysmorphic disorder is. Well, it's not very common, but it does happen where there are people who think there's something wrong with certain parts of their body. So it could be like they don't have a big nose, but they think they have a really, really big nose. Or some even the strange cases where they think that their head is square. And they try to cut off certain part of their, body parts to make it look correct. So it's a mental illness because actually there's nothing wrong with your body.
So it's just a perception of our own body image.
Yes, it's something that happens in the head. And there are some who think that their skin is sagging, and even some serious cases where they even take stapler and try to, that's pretty creepy. But
That's a creepy
but those are the serious ones. But yes, they do find that, there was this psychiatrist in one of the London hospitals who found that people with body dysmorphic disorder, almost about 2/3 of them tends to take obsessive photos of themselves because they just want to check whether is there anything wrong with my body, yes. So it's not that people who take selfies have mental disorders, but one of the symptoms now, because it's a new thing, before this, people with body dysmorphic disorder, they do other things that make them being diagnosed with. But now, because of the selfie phenomenon, this is one of the the symptoms of people with body dysmorphic disorder, that they tend to overly take pictures of themselves. That's to make sure that there's nothing wrong with their body.
So it's not just taking it, but also posting it on Facebook or any other social media platform, so that people can actually comment whether
there's anything wrong with them. In fact, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think there was a case where this man with body dysmorphic disorder who actually committed suicide.
Oh wow!
Because he kept on taking pictures of himself, and he trying to get a perfect selfie, but he couldn't. So he was so distraught that he actually committed suicide.
That's so sad.
Yes, of course. I mean, these are not the normal cases, but we do have stories like that as well. With the selfie phenomenon.
Yeah, this is the extreme case of people who really want to seek for attention or is crying help for. To be recognized, to be seen as someone who's supposed to be the ideal state of themselves, the perfect state of themselves, but they couldn't find it.
Yeah, of course. Again, it's because there already some mental issues already, and then with this phenomenon, it gives them another, platform to actually see whether they are okay or they're not okay.
About this illness, right? I mean, moving ahead from just talking about the body dysmorphic disorder, but talking about the obsession towards selfie and all this social media and virtual reality, is this something has to do with the problems or the illness of our modern society?
I think if you look at from a bigger perspective, I think it sort of like suggests society's obsession with looks nowadays. It's no longer important what I do, but it's more important what I look like.
Yeah, that's why people are writing less and less, and
Correct.
more photos are involved.
Exactly. So I don't really care what you have achieved in your life, whether you have gone jogging today, whether you have written a book, whether you have done anything important with your life. As long as I look good, that's fine. So I think this is what the social media in general tries to portray as well. If you think about it, all the advertisements that you see is all about image. Even driving a car is no longer about how great. I mean about getting you from point A to point B. It's like how good you look in the car. So they stress not so much on
But why all this stressing on looks and images rather than the content of the person itself?
Well, I think if you ask me, it's probably the result of capitalism. We need to sell stuff. So if people thinks they are fine, there's nothing wrong with them, there's no longer need to buy any more products.
I see.
I mean, this is my personal opinion.
Or is it because society has viewed themselves as a commodity, like I'm creating a branding out of my own self?
Yeah, that's also quite possible.
Like I'm creating this look or image of myself as being this successful career woman, but it's just the look. Like rather than trying to focus on the real stuff. Is that the case?
But if you think right, all this look on what is the look of a successful person is also created by the media, right? They're the ones who portray that in order to be successful, you must have this, this, and this. So if I don't have that, then I am not as successful as you think.
Yeah, you must have like a Samsung phone or
correct. So you must look good. You must look, a certain way. So I think it's a bigger problem with society where we place a lot of emphasis on external feature rather than internal feature.
So, so the capitalistic society or the capitalistic system has to be blamed by creating this phenomenon.
That's kind of too simplistic. But I say, in a way, yes, but of course it's not entirely, right? So, I don't think this is something that will go away, but it will create more and more stress for people, because obviously not everybody looks like, super hot model, and if we think that that's the worth of a person is as much as only their skin, I think that's pretty sad. And there will be a lot of unhappy people in this world. In fact, if you think about it, a lot of celebrities, you take away their makeup, right, they will just look so ordinary.
Yeah, they just look like us.
Exactly. But we never thought of that. Also, we think that everyone looks gorgeous all the time, and that's something that's very important. So I think one bad thing about what this selfie does is it places too much emphasis on how you look on the outside and not so much on how you are on the inside. And that's something probably only words can do, which pictures cannot do. So it's pretty sad, if you're moving away from inner qualities to just outer features.
Last question.
Yes.
Like, I mean, the social media and the selfie phenomenon will be here for quite some time. It might be just a trend, but it will be here
for a while.
For a while. How can society move forward and try to adapt with this culture and phenomena without sacrificing, their own identity or their own psychological health?
I think at the end of the day, we first need to love ourselves for who we are. And I think we need to stop portraying an ideal self because, no one's ideal. You know, being perfect is not the goal. Yeah, so it's okay. I mean, with all my blemishes, with all my undesirable features, you know, people will still love me, right? So at the end of the day, it's not about how I look, but who I am. And even, you know, you don't have to portray that you are a positive person all the time, because we are beautiful because of all our characteristics, both the good and the bad. And that's something probably we have to remind ourselves of.
So, thank you very much.
Okay, that was really
it has
enjoyable.
been quite an interesting discussion on selfie. And talking about selfie, just be yourself and be happy for yourself. And take more selfie, but don't Photoshop your selfie. Just let other people accept you are who you are.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.